So I don't see Rich on yet. Does anybody else?
Rich is here. He just is having trouble with his phone.
Okay, so are you on phone then?
I'm only on phone. I am still south of the place in California, and my computer took a header because I didn't strap it down, and so I'm on a phone.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, it is 7:15, and we've got the recording button already going. And welcome, everyone. This is our December 16th City Council meeting, the last one for 2020. And I'll call the meeting to order. And let's see, Matt, would you like to put up the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, and everybody can be able to recite it to themselves in the comfort of their home?
Liberty and justice.
Yes, 1 second. There you go.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Matt. Next would be roll call, and Mary, could we have roll call, please?
Yes, Dick Olson,
Here.
Mike Sykes,
Yes, I'm here.
Bessie Johnson. Here. Rich Kellum,
Here.
Alex Johnson II,
Here.
Bill Coburn,
Here.
and Sharon Canopa.
Here. Okay. So next we have some special presentations, and this is something that we don't see too often. You know, maybe every couple years at the earliest, or it could be every 4 years. I have seen at times where we had all returning counselors, but this year is the most that I have seen for a changeover on our council coming. And so with that, I think, Bill Coburn, you have been on the council now for 12 years, and here is a key to the city. And this shows, thank you for your service, Councilor Coburn. But I am unable to read it from here. And you represent Ward 2, and 12 years on the city council. So we want to thank you so much for your service to Albany.
Thank you very much.
And we've had many issues over the years, the past 12 years, and there's been some good, the bad, and the ugly. So we can all probably mention kind of stories from the past. But we have come a long ways in those 12 years. So I want to personally thank you for your service. And would you like to say a few words?
You know, a lot of times people say, well, why'd you get started on council? What made you think about that? And actually, it was Jim Delapore. I got to know Jim because our daughter was dating his son, and ultimately they got married. And Jim said, I think you might enjoy city council. And so I started going to the meetings, and back in the day, nobody went to meetings. I was the only one out there. And I remember Doug Killen came up to me after one of the meetings, and he introduced himself, says, hi, I'm Doug Killen. Who are you? And I said, well, I'm Bill Coburn. I said, you know who I am. Margaret, my wife, a teacher. Oh, yeah. He said, well, you must have some questions or concerns that you keep coming to the meetings, but you don't say anything. I said, well, I'm just observing and seeing what it's all about, and so forth and so on. But I did run for a couple of reasons. One is, you know, the old adage, put up or shut up. A lot of people complain, but that's about all they do. And the other reason, you know, it might sound a little corny, but it was to kind of give back to the community. I wasn't in the military, and I thought, I should do something for the community, so got involved in city council. So thank you again for the key to the city.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. So next is Councilor Rich Kellum. And Rich, you've been on for 8 years now, 2 terms, and you have the key to the city. So we want to thank you and thank you for your service. And as you can remember, I think I'd be really curious to see what everyone's most contentious, irritable, issue that we had to deal with over the years. And I can probably imagine what Rich would be thinking of, but say a few words, Rich.
Well, there are some reasons that I came. I was griping about government generally, and a friend of mine named Storm McCracken reached in his pocket and pulled out some money and said, "Shut up and do something about it." So I ran. And I have learned a few things while I've been here. One is the most important thing you can do, I think, is understand because you disagree with someone that doesn't make them evil. We need to disagree. Doesn't mean you're not passionate about what you think, but once you've had your say, and it's important to have a cross section, so that's a good thing for people. Second thing is there's no such thing as government money. No matter where the money comes from, it comes out of, eventually, a taxpayer's pocket, whether it is for payment of services or from taxes. And probably third, there is always someone that wants to get the money. I mean, when you have a group of people who have a passion for something and they want funded for it. So generally it's been a good time. The most important thing, I think, is to don't be afraid to ask questions. There are 3 reasons to ask questions. 1, you don't know. 2, someone sitting there that doesn't know, ask the staff needs to know that you're watching. Probably the nicest compliment I ever got from any staff member was from our Parks and Rec director, when he stood before us and said he wanted to talk about the Parks and Rec Foundation, but he was not ready to answer all the questions that Councilor Kellum had for him. So he was going to wait. Anyway, it's been like Dobby in the hair, the sock. Clothes, Dobby is free. So
You've been kind of breaking up there, little Rich, but were you done? Are you still on?
I'm done.
You're done. Okay. Well, thank you. All right. The next one that's going to be leaving office is after 4 years, and this is Councilor Mike Sykes. So, Mike, we want to thank you for your service, and here is the key to the city. You've had 4 years, and so there's probably been some joyful times and not joyful, but what are your thoughts, Mike?
Well, I ran at the behest of some people. Andy Olson was one. Floyd Collins was another one. I wish I would have gotten involved in this at a younger age. When you start getting older, it starts to get more difficult. But it's been eye-opening. It's been an education, and I've enjoyed it. There's been some tough times, but I was hoping that I could make a difference. The Marine attitude comes out in me that we got to fix it. We got to do something. Or if they're shooting at you, shoot back. But it's been enjoyable. I'm looking forward to taking a break. Like I say, I wish I could have gotten involved a lot earlier in my life, but trying to build and grow a business took over 26 hours a day and wasn't able to do that. But I've thoroughly enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed getting to know the people that run the city. And my hair on the back of the neck goes up even more now when people that work for the city are attacked by individuals that have no idea what they're saying or doing. So I'm a huge advocate for the folks that protect us and try to keep this place running. So I get pretty angry when somebody says something that they don't have any idea what they're talking about. But thank you.
I'm glad you said that, because yeah, it's so true. You know, about that. But, yeah. Thank you, Mike. Oh, yeah. But no, we want to, you know, and I think everybody here and online wants to thank everyone for their service. As it is, none of you got into this for the money, that's for sure. And everybody puts their heart into it, into the community, and not everybody agrees. And even with the citizens, you know, we get accused of not listening. And yet it's, I always say, you know, listening and agreeing are two different things. But no, I want to thank all of you. Done a, you know, wonderful job and very devoted, very devoted. So Peter, did you want to say any words?
Yes, Mayor. Thank you very much. I'm really sorry that we're not able to recognize all of you in the council chambers, but you have adapted very well to our virtual restrictions, and we're going to do the best we can under these circumstances. So on behalf of the city staff, thank all of you councilors for your many years of volunteer service. You've served our city, our community in a very important way. And I've had the privilege of serving for the last 3.5 years and observing you in action. As a legislative body, you've had your differences, and that was and is certainly to be expected. And I would say that, in fact, it's important. Our government is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, all the people. You were elected by our citizens, and you did your best to represent their interests and to serve them. You've each taken your responsibility very seriously and devoted time to study the volumes of material that we provide you on a regular basis. By my estimate, this represents over 1,000 hours over the course of a 4-year term. Using the numbers I used, it comes out to 1,104, assuming 23 hours a month. But that's if you're a speed reader. You probably put more time than that into it. You've served as points of contact for your constituents, and you've worked to educate them. You've been on the lookout for problems, and you've often proposed solutions. It's been an honor for me to work for the people of Albany under your guidance. I'm personally appreciative of your support. I've enjoyed working with each of you, and I'll miss your perspectives. And I hope that I can occasionally call on you for those perspectives. On that note, I'll also make a request of you. After tonight, and probably for a little while, you might be very glad that you can use those many hours for other purposes. But eventually, I hope you'll commit to staying engaged in your own way. You're now members of the Alumni Association, and you're in a unique position to help our citizens understand governance, as Mike Sykes was just talking about. For those of us who are or who once were entrusted with public office, I believe it's our civic responsibility. I'd ask you to look for opportunities to enlighten people and look for opportunities to encourage them. And by you being involved and helping others to understand our government, we'll be a stronger and better community. Mayor, I'm going to take over the MC role here for a few minutes and give you a break, okay? But remember, we still have a whole council meeting to go and an ARA meeting. And we got to listen to Judge Reed, who's looking like a picture out of The Godfather right now.
Yes.
We have a shadow box for you too, Mayor, and Matt's going to show a picture of it here. But I will read the inscription since I know it's very hard to read that. No, it's impossible to read that. It says, Sharon Canopa, Mayor, January 2009 to December 2020, City Councilor, Ward 2B, January 1997 to December 2008, lifelong volunteer and advocate for Albany. Presented to Mayor Canopa with great appreciation for her many years of dedication to the city of Albany as mayor, councilor, and board member, and as a volunteer supporter of countless efforts to better our community. Her resolute commitment and her love for the city have furthered the revitalization of our downtown, inspired residents to contribute countless hours of service to a greater Albany, and ensured the success of projects and programs that will benefit Albany for years to come. Her contributions will have enduring impacts on the beautiful city that we all love. Now, if we were in the council chambers at this point, we would all rise and give a big round of applause to our outgoing mayor and councilors. It doesn't sound the same over GoToMeeting, but please don't let that stop you here. Now, there are at least two people here on our GoToMeeting room who have seen this council in action for much longer than I have, who are not members of the council. And I know that each of them would like an opportunity to say a few words. So I'm going to call on Lisa Grotto first, the Executive Director of the Downtown Association. Oh, Lisa, unfortunately, we can't hear you.
Push the mute button.
Oh, can't hear you, sorry.
Okay.
Maybe she could go out and come back in.
Yeah, Lisa, while you try that, I will call on Rebecca Bond from the Albany Visitors Association.
Can you hear me all right?
Loud and clear.
All right. Well, I had to write this out because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do it otherwise. On behalf of the Albany Visitors Association, thank you for the opportunity to extend our sincere appreciation to the council members stepping down this year. And what a year. Bill Coburn, having served multiple terms on council, your ongoing efforts to look at all sides of an issue have helped to broaden the vision of the council. Rich Kellum, often playing devil's advocate, I think sometimes just see what might happen, but ultimately you've helped us focus on the facts and the things that are really important. And Mike Sykes, we're so appreciative of the candid conversations and direct discussions with clear goals and purpose, and we agree with you. The community is only as good as we make it. You all know too well that representing Albany as an elected official is not easy. It can be incredibly frustrating, making the best decisions possible with the information at hand, limited resources, and sometimes strong feelings. It requires a person who cares enough to walk into a room that's loaded with conflicting opinions and heightened emotions to come out with the best decision possible under the circumstances, and then to face the community members on both sides of that decision. Serving the community of Albany is just that, a service. Thank you for answering the call to serve. We appreciate the time you've all given to Albany with your honest intentions to make us better. And Mayor Sharon Canopa, you've represented Albany well as the first mayor in a line of 54 mayors before you, starting with J.C. Powell in 1865. Serving for 12 years, tied the record with previous Mayor Beck McLaren. And with 12 years on council before that, you've served enough time to grow 3 generations of Christmas trees. 'Tis the season, and we all love the traditions you've helped to start. As mayor, you've served with equity and grace, at times under incredible pressure and scrutiny. As a leader, you're the first to volunteer, leading by example. You've offered a welcoming smile and message to our visitors, made tough budget decisions, solicited volunteers, donors, and sponsors, brought community members together to recognize the outstanding, celebrate victories, and mourn losses. And you've even coordinated homemade refreshments for 1,000 of our closest friends during our annual Christmas parlor tour. I've had the pleasure of working with you my entire career here in Albany. I'm particularly proud of the sash behind me that says Votes for Women. I think you can see that. It was presented in good company with you, Marilyn Weimer, and Senator May Yee in 2012 during the 100-year celebration of Oregon women's rights to vote, honoring the women of our past and blazing a path for women of the future to step up and make a positive difference in our political world. We knew someday our roles would evolve and relationships would change, but we know also that our friendship will continue. Working with someone so dedicated to the Albany community makes the rest of us better. You serve as an inspiration and, more importantly, an invitation for others to stand up and serve as well. You've raised the bar, and we know you are not done yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. And now let me see if,
Becca.
yeah, by all means, give her a ring. Lisa Grotto, have you been able to get back in? Okay, and I just got a text her that says she will paste her message in the chat if we can't hear from her. So Lisa, want to try again?
There she is.
No. Still have a tough, still can't hear you.
No.
Okay, Lisa, why don't you go ahead and put that message in the chat, and that would be wonderful. If and actually it says chat is disabled by organizers, so if you would like, you're welcome to send it to me, and I'd be happy to read it. But in the meantime, let's turn to Kim Ledane, our Parks and Recreation Director, who'd like to make a presentation.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Councilors. Thank you for having me. That's the last time I get to say that with this group. And I want to say thank you for making my last. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, awesome. Sorry, I was getting some feedback. Just wanted to say thank you for making me feel so welcome over the last year since I've been here. And I wish you all well in this next chapter. And then we also have a presentation, a virtual presentation for Mayor Knopa. So we just want to say thank you for being a tireless champion of Parks and Recreation. You care so much about this community, and you can feel that just by meeting you. You were so kind that when I first came on board, not knowing really a whole lot about Albany, you gave me a 2-hour tour of all the sites of Albany so that I actually knew what I was talking about when people would mention things. And while I was very pregnant, I was also very happy I didn't get car sick in your car. So we just want to say thank you. You're open and accessible. You answer questions. We feel like all hours of the night. I'm not sure how you do it on social media. You relay issues from our patrons to us, and you are an advocate and provide support whenever we need it. You make us feel important, and we are incredibly grateful for that. And we, the duck, I'm sure there's a lot of jokes our staff could make about it, but we just wanted to say, don't worry, he's still there, and he'll always look forward to seeing you do some touch-ups. Between being so supportive and complimentary of our parks and being out at River Rhythms first thing in the morning every Thursday with your coffee and a blanket, you have played such an integral role for everything that we do, and we cannot say thank you enough. So what we've decided to do is we have these chairs that we brought out last year, well, 2019, and they're for our sponsors and our VIPs. And we went ahead and had one monogrammed with Mayor Knopa because we want you to know that you'll always have a seat with us. So thank you very much for your service.
Thank you. That is so sweet.
Thank you. Okay.
parks and gals, so.
I know that Eric Eikenoy would also like the chance to say a few comments, make a few comments.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Thanks to all the counselors. It feels disappointing to me that I chance to work played in here. So I was not prepared for a dance, but anyway, it's been quite a year for my first 10 months here, and I look forward to getting to meet you and see you all in the community as I get to live here more and actually get to do some things in Albany. But Mayor, the library wanted a way to honor you and recognize your contributions to the library, including this very building that I'm in tonight, which opened while you were the mayor. So at the next council meeting, I will be introducing a resolution to rename the garden room in the library the Sharon Canopa Garden Room. This is to honor both your work for the library, but also your commitment to developing community in Albany. And really, we look forward to being able to have that event in person where we can truly honor you and the work that you've done. So thank you.
That's a great idea.
Oh, great. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. Now, with the miracles of technology and with Lisa Grotto's sheer determination, she's now joined us by telephone. That 20th century telephone.
Way to go, Lisa.
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Wonderful. So thank you. My name is Lisa Grotto, and I'm the Executive Director of the Albany Downtown Association. We would like to thank Mayor Sharon Canopa and the full City Council for your support of the Albany Downtown Association. We'd wish to thank Councillor Kellum, Councillor Sykes, and Councillor Coburg, and wish you the best as you move on to new projects and invite you to remain part of our downtown. I'd like to thank Alex Johnson II for your support of our association in your role on City Council these past 2 years, and look forward to a great partnership as you step into your new role as Mayor of Albany. We wish to express our heartfelt thanks to Mayor Sharon Canopa for years of undying support of the Albany Downtown Association and the revitalization of downtown Albany. Your guidance through an untold number of downtown projects has been remarkable, and many will continue to help our businesses throughout these tough times. Your support on City Council, CARA, and TLT have helped Albany Downtown Association accomplish so much. For over 25 years, you've been an amazing partner. From our City Council liaison on the Albany Downtown Association Board to Master of Ceremonies at our downtown Twice Around Parade and helping with our lighting of the community Christmas tree each year, you have contributed so much. We thank you and look forward to seeing you downtown very soon. Thank you, Sharon and councilors.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for being so determined and joining us. Okay, let me call on our police chief, Marcia Harnden.
Good evening, councilors and mayor. There we go. I just wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity on behalf of the men and women of the Albany Police Department to thank you for your support of the police department. You are very much responsible for a high-performing and highly regarded police department within the region. We cannot accomplish our public safety mission without the support of our elected officials. It's very heartfelt. And for those on the council that have served in the military, you are aware of the significance of a challenge coin. So we will be delivering each of you one of our special Albany PD challenge coins as you depart, as a special thank you for your service and support of the police department. And these are going to be rare commodities, as these are the soon to be relics of the old branding of the police department, as those new coins will be coming on for the police department. It's very integral to have your support. You've been very supportive with me when I came on in January It's hard to believe that it has been almost a year. I'm not sure where it went. I keep looking like what happened, but it is 2020 has been a challenge for us here in the city. We've been able to keep people safe and bring some sense of calm, and that has a lot to do with the support that we have from all of you on the council. So I very much appreciate the relationships I've built with all of you, and for those who are departing, I wish you best of luck and enjoy your extra free time now. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Chief. Okay. Among the staff at the city, the directors have come to know Shane Wooten as Coach Wooten for his inspirational talks to all of us. So Chief Wooten, you're next. Coach.
All right. Hey, thank you very much. I'm not sure this is going to be much of a coach talk, but I'll do my best. So I'll start with Councilor Coburn, Kellum, and Sykes on behalf of the members of the Albany Fire Department. Thank you for all the support that you've provided us. All three of you have never wavered in your dedication for public safety or towards public safety. And our department is absolutely grateful for you. And because of your actions, our community is safer because of those decisions and actions that you've made over the years. So please accept, we're going to be giving you an Albany Fire Department Challenge coin here in the near future, and just best wishes in all your future endeavors. And for Mayor Canopa, you have done so much for the Albany Fire Department that I wonder where we would have been without your leadership and support over the years. Going back to 2002, when our community first passed the public safety levy, and then every 5 years to the passage of the bond to replace Station 11, you were instrumental in getting these items accomplished. I recall over the years when a public safety campaign needed to be ran, you would always step up and volunteer more of your valuable time. You would chair the political action committee. You would create campaign literature. You would manage the donations. And more importantly, you were our champion. You are a champion for public safety and our biggest supporter. So I reached out to the two previous chiefs to see if they wanted to relay a message, and both responded back immediately. So from retired Fire Chief Kevin Kreitman, Sharon, thank you for your service and dedication to the Albany community and your support and work on the establishment and passage of the initial public safety levy. Your support was critical in helping address the ongoing fire and police service staffing level needs, and your continued support of the levy during your time as a counselor and mayor was greatly appreciated. And then from retired Fire Chief John Bradner, he replied, I was honored to serve the city of Albany alongside Mayor Sharon Canopa. I greatly appreciated her continual support for the fire department, especially the leadership role she played helping us pass a public safety levy time and time again. I always knew Mayor Canopa had the best interests of our firefighters in mind when she made decisions, and I valued her support for our efforts to replace aging equipment and facilities. Mayor Canopa made our community safer, for which I will always be grateful. And Mayor, for me, the Albany Fire Department is forever grateful for all you have done for us in the past, and it is our sincere hope that you choose to stay involved and continue to advocate for a safer Albany. Thank you, Sharon, very, very much.
Thank you, Chief Wooten. All right. Mayor, by Albany standards, I'm a newcomer, even after 3.5 years on the job. But in the months after I arrived, when people would ask me how the new job was going, I would say to them that I'd never felt more welcomed. The staff welcomed me, the community welcomed me, and the council welcomed me. Mayor Canopa was a key component in creating that spirit. Her warm and welcoming attitude and her obvious pride in her city shine through. So Mayor, I'll join all the others that you've heard from tonight to thank you for the support that you've provided to all of us. I quickly grew to appreciate the fact that you placed a lot of faith in your staff and that you supported them in their efforts to provide quality public services for a better Albany community. That's something that we all aspire to earn and to maintain the trust of our leadership. But it was the support that you and the council provided your staff that helped achieve things like CALIA accreditation, recognition for transparency, performance management awards, award-winning concert series, and many, many more achievements. So Mayor, tonight, although I'm grateful personally for your support and help, I want to recognize you for the love of your city. You spent 24 years on this council and 12 of those years as mayor. You've devoted so many hours per week that it was often comparable to a full-time job. You worked exhaustively on investments in our downtown, on building the quality of life in Albany neighborhoods, on promoting our libraries and our historic districts, on homeless issues, on building a police station, a fire station, and yes, even a carousel. You're a tireless cheerleader for your city and for its citizens. Even a near fatal accident that did permanent damage to your shoulder couldn't stop you from your service to your city. I've been here for only a small part of the last 20 years, but from everything I've heard, the city has come a long way. And as Brian Orr noted the other night in the joint meeting with the Planning Commission, this town is moving in the right direction. So as you leave the council at the end of this, what we all think of as a very traumatic year, we thank you for that level of energy and devotion, that love for the city of Albany. Many people see you out and about at every River Rhythms concert, and here's hoping that those concerts come back next summer. But few see the hours that you put in, or the emails and the phone calls you answer, or the meetings you attend. I want you to know that we're grateful for that. And I suspect you'll continue to be involved in many different ways. I hope you will be. The city needs that kind of dedicated service. So in closing, let me make one final presentation, and then we'll carry on with our council meeting. All right, we have one more shadow box. And by the way, shadow box has a naval history to it, which I'll tell you about later. This shadow box, and I'll read the inscription there. It says that the enclosed flag was flown over Albany City Hall, the Albany Police Station, each of Albany's fire stations, libraries, and public buildings in honor of Mayor Sharon Canopa and her many years of service on the Albany City Council. Thank you, Mayor Canopa.
Wow. That's nice.
Really nice.
I hope I'm not supposed to say any words right now.
Oh, Mayor, you don't have to say any words. And I will tell you that, the next on our agenda is business from the public. There is no business from the public, and Bill Coburn, council president, stands ready to help out if you like.
I think I can handle. Thank you, everyone. The words were so kind, and your thoughts were so kind, and I don't want to leave, but I want to just thank you so much, because everyone's been like a big city family to me, and it is hard to leave. But I'm just so very grateful. It was just been a lot of friends over the years, and but the thoughts you did, and I know it took you time just to put all the words together, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for your kind words. But and you're right, Albany is my life, and I know the counselors that are retiring too, or this is our life and our community, and we will still be around. So, but thank you. So, okay. Business from the public, and there wasn't anyone that signed up, and I don't know if there was anybody online that wanted to speak. If not, then we'll go to the next business, which is first reading of the ordinance. And Sean, that's on ordinances on page 3.
All right. Don't see me on the screen there. There we go. Okay. An ordinance amending ordinance 5647, which adopted Albany Municipal Code Title 18 relating to building code administration by replacing section 18.10.200.
I'll make a motion, the ordinance be read a second time in title only.
Second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, second reading, please.
Okay. Ordinance amending ordinance 5647, which adopted Albany Municipal Code Title 18 relating to building code administration by replacing sections 18.10.200.
Move to approve.
Second it.
Okay. Any discussion? This is an item that we had on a couple work sessions. Bill?
Yeah, just one question. I know that Mike brought up this issue of not having 3 violations on one visit. And there was a discussion of that at our last meeting, and I think staff was going to work on clarifying, kind of the 3 strikes you're out. Any comments from staff on that?
Hello, Council. Jonathan Balkima, Building Official Manager for the city. Hopefully you can hear me. So staff did go back and revise the language a little bit. So under section 2A, we tried to eliminate some of the confusion by removing the phrasing of violation, which was used by the state, and changed it to offense instead. And then we also added additional text to each one of the offenses. So now it would read 1 or multiple violations committed by a person, business, corporation, which tried to address some of the concerns that you had previously brought up. And then we added a section V, which states civil penalties for offenses under number 2 and number 3 above are intended for new violations of this title that occur after resolution of the preceding offense. So the potential concern of escalating somebody while we're addressing an initial issue, if subsequent issues come up, would be codified in the municipal code.
Very good. Yep, I see that. I'll admit I scanned this and I missed it the first time through, but I see it now. So thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. All right, thank you staff too for your work on that and for addressing the counselor's concerns. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Adoption of the resolutions. This is 6A, and this is amending public records request fee structure and fee increase. This is a resolution on page 7. And Peter or staff want to lead off on this one?
Hello, counselors. I put this public records request resolution on the agenda tonight. The staff report gives you the information. Just really quickly, we have 3 forms. We have police, fire in the city of Albany. We receive about 75 to 100 requests each year. That's not including police and fire. And what this is asking you to do is to change our rate structure. The one we're currently using is a little complicated and we've outgrown it. It's difficult for us to calculate fees, and we have quite a few more requests now, and there's new laws in place that makes it, we would like to simplify to make it a quicker process for both the public and our staff. The structure that we would like to go to is a flat rate structure. Basically, the first 30 minutes would be free, and then each unit is 15 minutes. And we will be evaluating what that flat rate is at the end of each year. We'll look at the previous year's public records request and use a blended rate of the staff who most often responds to those requests. So this resolution, the structure is what we're really asking you to do so that we can do a reevaluation each year about the flat rate. So unless you have any questions, I would just like you to approve our resolution.
Okay, any questions of Mary? All right, if not, there's a resolution on page 7.
I'll move for adoption of the resolution.
I'll second that.
Okay, all right, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
And then next is, it starts on page 14. This is amending the library fees. And Eric, did you want to report on this?
Yeah, I did. So before you tonight, council, there are 2 versions of the same resolution for library fees. Included in both versions is the raising of the non-resident fee from $50 to $80 a year and a cleanup and consolidation of some smaller fees. The difference in the 2 resolutions is that one version includes the meeting room fees for our large meeting room and boardroom, and one does not. At the work session in November, I discussed cost efficiency, staff shortage, and kind of contradiction to the library mission as reasons why the implementation of room fees presents a challenge. You also asked for a little further clarity on partnerships. I've added some example definitions in my memo, but they're nothing that has been vetted by the library board or the city at large around the idea of what a partnership is. But so regardless, further work will have to proceed on the partnership issue. Long story short, while the meeting rooms will likely be among the last areas of the library that will kind of come back to life after COVID, we do need one of these resolutions approved so that we can implement the other changes, the non-resident fee and the smaller changes to the fees.
Okay, is there questions? Okay, if not, there's, you have 2 resolutions for this, is that correct, Eric?
That is correct.
21. Okay. On 16 and 21, Councilor.
Yes, the one on 16 is without the room reservation fees, and the one on 21 is with the room reservation.
Okay. And which one would you like?
I suppose that's ultimately up to council's decision.
Gosh, I mean, for what would the council like? Which resolution?
Well, the question for Eric, has the library board reviewed this and weighed in on it?
Yes, they approved the resident rates earlier this year, and they that was a unanimous vote. And then October they did approve the room reservation fees, and that was a 3-2.
So, Alex, did you have a question?
Yeah, Eric, I have a question for you. How does this align? How does this compare to the other libraries in the area? I hear a radio going off or something.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, here's some.
Does somebody have there's some feedback coming off of someone's camera. Nope, there it went away.
As far as the room reservation fees,
yes.
You know, it's a little bit of an outlier. You know, the Corvallis Library does charge rental fees for their spaces. Most of the other local libraries do not. The Lebanon Library does charge a smaller fee as well. It's in my experience, I would say it's kind of a, I wouldn't say it's quite a 50-50. I would say more libraries do not charge than do. I did a little research of kind of comparable libraries of our size, and the only 2 that came up that do charge fees were Lebanon and Corvallis in Oregon. I've worked at I've worked at libraries that charge fees and that don't. And the real sticking point with charging fees tends to be it does kind of create an extra amount of work for the staff. And if you're prepared for that and you have something to offer, then it can be valuable. But if it's something that's kind of added on to your suite, it can be a little more of a burden than perhaps an enhancement.
So about the number though, as far as the $80, does that come comparable, or how's that work out?
Oh, for the non-resident fee, $80 is it's a little low, but it's being raised from $50, and that's the first increase in like 11 years. So the range that I found was anywhere from 50 to I believe the highest I saw was $135 for a non-resident fee, and that was in a district that was slightly bigger than ours. So.
Okay, all right, thank you. You have answered my question. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, council, what would you like to do? Which resolution?
Well, I think, this is Mike speaking here. I think for the time being, we just approved the one without the fees for the rooms until we get more information, or the council receives more information on the raising of the rental fees on the room. So I'm kind of leaning towards the first resolution that raises the non-resident fee to $80.
Okay, do you want to make a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to that.
I'll second that one as well.
Yeah. And any discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. All right, and so with the other, would you like to provide staff direction? Do you want them to bring back for a work session more information on Resolution 21?
I think that's prudent at this point to bring back more information so that the next sitting council can make an informed decision.
I agree. Thank you.
Everyone's okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you, Eric.
All right, thank you, council.
Next is the snow temp loan conversion. This is on page, starts on page 26. There's resolution 27. And Seth, were you on? Yeah.
I sure am, Mayor. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So I provide you with a fair bit of information here, and it's maybe more of a reminder than anything else. That being said, I'm more than happy to answer questions, but I'm going to just breeze through a quick summary of where we are at to date. A little bit before I got here, the city had created a contract with Snow Temp to help support their expansion here in Albany. And that contract and that relationship, the contractual relationship, essentially had the city acquiring some grant support and financing on behalf of Snow Temp to help with what's ultimately required road improvements around their property and a rail crossing as well. And those requirements were required with a planned improvement that Snow Temp is planning on making. So as they build out their site, these improvements needed to happen. So as I mentioned, a part of that was helping them acquire some low interest financing from the state to fund what was ultimately a pretty expensive project, over $3 million. And at the time, the state gave some financing to the city to then fund the project, which we did. And that money was never meant to be permanent. It was interim financing. And over the long run, eventually, the money that we got from the Special Public Works Fund would convert to a term loan administered by the Infrastructure Finance Authority, or the IFA. And that would be backed by bond sales, which are scheduled to happen this coming January 2021. So we are already in contract with SnowTemp and the state to both receive these monies, and then we receive the money from SnowTemp to pay the state back. SnowTemp's also required to create 60 equivalent full-time jobs with their planned expansion over the next 4 years. And as a result, they got a big project done, and we'll see an increase in jobs and sustainability of a core business sector here in our community. So with that, the request this evening is that the council continue on with the path that we've been on now for about 4 years, and allow this financing to convert to a term loan. And as a reminder, we have a contract in place, of course, with SnowTemp that has not only their job creation requirements, but also a payment schedule to repay this loan over the next 20 years. That's the term of the loan. So happy to answer questions if they exist.
Okay, questions? All right, if not, council, you have a resolution on page 27.
I move for the adoption.
I'll move for adoption.
Okay, two motions. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay. All right. And any discussion?
Yeah, Mayor. I'd like to say that the improvements on that road have been fantastic. It's really improved the traffic down there. It's improved the railroad crossing, and the traffic through there is gotten better because of that road improvement. As some people know, my business is at the end of Marion back down in there, and it's always been a problem, and it's really nice to see it. Now we won't see semis trying to make that corner and end up in the ditch. So it's really a nice, if you haven't been out there, go take a drive. It's really nice.
Actually, what's and real nice too is because it's just, you know, behind my neighborhood, and it's a good walking path now. I mean, those sidewalks are great. Everything's nice and smooth and level, and like you said, the railroad track, that was one bumpy of a ride over that railroad track, and it was a very great project, and Public Works did a really good job in overseeing that infrastructure improvement and street improvements. So I've been pleased just being able to walk out that area, and actually when you walk out there, you look up in the trees and you can always see some eagles nesting in the trees. So it's been a kind of a nice project. Yeah.
And they put street lights out there, which is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's a great plus for that area. So yeah, thank you.
Mayor, I'd also be remiss to not mention the fact that based on the bidding documents that were created early on the project and all of the budget that was created, our team, the Public Works team and engineering, did a fantastic job and actually came under nearly $700,000 what was originally budgeted. So that's savings for SnowTemp and for the city, which is really a pretty great outcome, I thought.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Good job. Yeah. So thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Thank you, Seth. And now the financing SGC fees for Engem Incorporated. This is a resolution on page 34. And which staff would like to lead off on this one? Is that Jeff Blaine?
No, it's Gina, but can't get my camera on, so I'll just talk to you. Engem Incorporated is asking to finance SDCs for a property over on Queen Avenue between Waverly and Gary. The plan is to put in some apartments there. The amount that they want to finance is $189,000. We looked at the property; it is well worth. It's worth well more than that. we will be putting a lien on the property for the SDCs like we always do. So we're not afraid of losing any funding. And they would have the option to choose to pay within 10 days or over a 10-year period. The interest rate on this one would be 6.55%.
They can probably get cheaper at a bank now, but yeah. Any questions? Okay, if not, there's a resolution on page 34. What would you like to do, council?
I'll move to approve it.
And I'll second it.
Okay, and any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. All right, thank you, Gina. Next is the consent calendar. If there isn't any items that need to be pulled off this evening, I'll entertain a motion.
Heck,
For
I'll
adoption
jump
of
in
the
there.
consent.
Oh, I didn't pick that up. I heard too many voices. Was it Mike that made the motion?
Yeah, I'll jump in there.
Okay, was it Bill that
Second.
second? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. All right, consent calendar is done. And next is staff report, and this is contract renewal for Judge Reed. And who's going to lead on this?
He was here a second. There he is.
Oh, let me see here.
There.
I'm here.
There you are.
Yes.
And what did you say, Peter, the Godfather?
It looks like a scene from The Godfather.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, look at him in the shadows.
Somebody gonna kiss his ring?
Got a deal you can't refuse.
That's right. So did you want, I know there, I guess there's three parts here really with my presentation. One's whether you want me to continue to do this. And I see that September's here and I appreciate that because if I ever have a question, September's always able to help me. So I know there's that. And then we have to look at the potential 3 pro tems that I have. And then I was going to give a annual review of the court to you. So however you would like to do this. I'll make a suggestion. I'll make a suggestion. You know, I'm an attorney. They always full of suggestions. I guess my first suggestion would be is maybe, well, my first suggestion is you wait for the contract till at the end of things to see if you like my report and see where we're doing the pro tem things. So perhaps the first one you would want to do is look at the 3 people I've suggested for the pro temps. I do this annually. They are the people who served with us this last year, 2020, and I'm asking for them to be reapproved as the 3 pro tem judges for the city of Albany for 2021.
Okay, council, do you have any,
Well,
that was on
the consent calendar. We already approved.
Was it?
Yeah, Forrest, that was on the consent calendar, so that's already been approved.
Okay, so then why, I guess, well, certainly you're the mayor, you can tell me whichever process you want, but if you want me to give you my annual report, I'll do that. Then you can decide whether you want to renew my contract for this coming year. You want to do that?
If you just kind of want to highlight things on your report and then the council can see if they got questions with you and then they can, you know, make a motion to approve your contract.
Okay, so not read it verbatim, just highlight the out.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Unless the council, do you want to hear a highlighted report or would you like to just ask questions?
I'd like the summary or highlighted report. It'd be great.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, just real briefly that on what we're currently doing is around March 8th, we had to shut down our court. We were normally meeting 5 days a week. Had to shut down the court so no defendants were able to come into court beginning March 8th until about June 5th or so. But during that time, we were still operating full time. We were open from 8 until 5 p.m. And we were answering questions, phone calls, answering correspondence. But that really gave us the opportunity to go back and try to collect some past due fees that people have been somewhat delinquent on. And so we ended up losing a staff member, though, in March due to budget constraints. And as a result of that, though, and because of the shutdown, our window down there has been closed. So again, we do have enough staff to do that. But once we reopen again, we will be short of that one person staff. And so that may be something that we'll need to come back and see if we can justify to you folks about getting that person replaced. I can let you know that having that person there and having the ability to dedicate now a person to go out and really work on filing contempt motions and helping us collect fees, I think we've done really well. We right now, just to let you know, 2019 was the largest revenue year that the city of Albany has had through the Albany Municipal Court. This year, keeping in mind that we've been shut down for the COVID situation, we are now only 6% less in collections of revenue than what we have been in our past year, 2019, which was our highest year. And I think a lot of that is just as a result of being able to dedicate going after and collecting some of these things. I'd like to move on and just, yes, let's go in on page 2, 2020, because these are really the highlights. And this is what I'd like to really point out to you if I can. So if I just read them verbatim, I won't ramble on. So, number 1, beginning in mid-March through June 5th, and I really want you folks to be aware of what happened. And the reason I'm doing this, I want you to be aware of what happens down there in the Albany Municipal Court. I'm really proud to be associated with the court because I think it's a very good system we've had down there. I worked for 35 years as an attorney working with the court, and now just this 1 year as a judge of the court, and I've always been very pleased with it, but I really am now that I'm getting work on the inside. So that's the reason I want to take a little bit of time and let you know what we're doing for 2020. Beginning in mid-March through June 5th, the court did not have defendants personally appear. Although we were open, fully staffed, processing citations, payments, and correspondence from defendants, taking pleas by letters, and concentrating on past due accounts by issuing warning letters and contempt orders. Secondly, in 2020, we've established a mental health court in coordination with the city attorney's office and the Lynn County Mental Health Department. Our goal is to reduce criminal recidivism by linking appropriate individuals to mental health treatment through the Lynn County Health Department. I would also point out that Albany Police Department is an integral part with this as well, is that they are helping when they are interfacing with somebody out in the public. They are able to let us know about if we can try to get them in through Lynn County or in through our Albany Mental Health Court. And so they've been a very good partner with us, and we anticipate that going forward. In order to participate in the program, the defendant must have a diagnosis of a mental health disorder and be willing to participate in mental health treatment with the Lynn County Mental Health Department. The defendant's participation in the mental health court is voluntary. The defendant, city attorney, Lynn County Mental Health, and the court meet monthly to obtain a progress report of each participant and discuss the next appropriate steps. 12 individuals are currently enrolled in our mental health court program. Now, upon successful completion, as determined by Lynn County Mental Health, the city attorney, and the court, the case against the defendant is dismissed. This usually occurs within a 6 to 12-month time frame. If the defendant is unsuccessful or chooses to withdraw from the program, their case is processed in the regular Albany Municipal Court criminal docket. In the future, we hope Lynn County Mental Health can obtain a grant to cover continuation and expansion of this program. Benefits to the city are reduced prosecutorial costs, reduction of crimes, and connecting individuals with needed mental health services. Lynn County Circuit Court tried a mental health court years ago, but it eventually dissolved. We've modified our approach and their approach, and we are optimistic that our model will proceed going forward. Third thing we're doing now in 2020, which is new, is I've written down, I see many people who owe the court large amounts of fines in the area of $1,000 to $10,000 to the courts. These are individuals. They've been compiled by these individuals over the past 5 to 20 years. They are delinquent, and often they complain of an inability of their ability to even make payments of $25 per month. So we've started a new program down there. As a result, we now have these people come in and speak with me directly in court. I generally give them two options now. One, they can stay monthly on their payments, but I've increased it to $50 a month. Or if they say they can't do it, they're unemployed, they don't have any income coming in, something was really instrumental down there, and oftentimes it persuades people to come up with their payments. The other option is I tell them, okay, no problem, we can work with you. What I'm going to have you do is you're going to do work crew. And that work crew converts over to about $96 per day. Now, some of them, you know, a majority of them are very happy. They're saying, great. And I say, look, you can get us the court off your back. You get over and do your work crew and we'll be done. We won't be bugging you anymore. And they're happy. Other people are saying, you know what? I think I'm going to be able to come up with those $50 a month payments. And so it's really helped. And it's good. And word has gotten out now that we're not dicking around. We're, you know, we come up with another, other than just giving the money, we give them a source. I understand there are many people out there who don't have money, and so they can do work crew. And that's worked fine. We're doing that through the Lynn County Sheriff's Office. But you'll see down there, the court, along with the Albany, I say also that we're tracking this accounts to see if this approach is going to be working for the city. So we're seeing how this is going to work, and we'll evaluate it this next year. The court, along with the Albany Police Department and the city attorney, may explore during this coming year whether it is cost effective for us, the city, to run our own work crew program. Now, a new program that's been instituted this year has the Albany Police Department providing a dedicated person who reaches out to crime victims and lets them know that they may appear in court and speak directly with me regarding sentencing and requested restitutions. If they choose, they may also present a written crime victim statement to the court. This is new this last year, and it's working really well for us. Measure 110, I'm not sure if you're familiar with what 110 is, but Measure 110 was passed by Oregon voters on November 3rd and becomes effective on February 1st of this next year. Measure 110 makes possession of all controlled substances for personal use a violation. Measure 110 requires courts to impose a civil penalty of $100, which will be waived if the defendant opts to participate in a health assessment. So just let me make sure that you folks are clear what 110 does and what we as a court, I think, are going to be facing going forward. Somebody now convicted or charged with found in possession of a user amount of marijuana, a user amount of cocaine, a user amount of methamphetamine, or a user amount of heroin will most likely be cited through the Albany Municipal Court. Those are going to become violations. Now, once it raises the level above just a personal amount, that will then be routed back through the Lynn County District Attorney's Office. The cities in the state of Oregon now, and I think the legislature is probably going to get somewhat involved, is going to help us to decide, are these to be routed through the local courts? So meaning anywhere within the Albany city limits, if somebody's caught with a controlled substance, whether it's marijuana or heroin or methamphetamine, it's going to come through us. And one of the requirements is going to be is that we need to help, or we need to give them the opportunity to get in for an assessment. We don't know what we're going to need to do going forward, whether we need to follow up with them to make sure that they have successfully completed any treatment program. Those are all things that are going to be determined going forward, not by us, the city, but most likely by the legislature. But that becomes effective February 1st. I've also written down that, September and I, and then you see September with us, we provided 4 workshops at the Albany Police Department for all of the officers. The focus of these sessions was to educate the officers on how they can best present their case in a trial. We left the end of each session open for questions pertaining to the court and procedures. They were well received, and I hope we can do these events in the future on a recurring basis. Lastly, I'd like to give a shout out to September. She does an outstanding job of supervising the staff and running an efficient department. The judicial clerks are knowledgeable in court procedures and compassionate in answering questions from the public. And I can tell you, they really are very compassionate. They go out of their way to be nice for some of these people who are calling with difficult questions, and they do a very good job. I believe that this staff down there provides a very good interface between the public and an essential city service. The last shout out I'd like to give is to our security person down there, Vern. Vern does a great job. Vern is the person who the clients are first meeting when they come in the door. Vern's making sure that they comply with protocol. We developed a new attitude down there. We keep the doors open, and it's more like just a public appearance. And people are coming in, we're talking with them, and Vern is just really good. So I really want to give him thumbs up. Well, give you folks thumbs up for him. That's been a good addition to the city down there, I think. Lastly, I want to thank you for allowing me to serve this past year as your Albany Municipal Court Judge, and I'm certainly available to answer any questions that you may have.
Mm-hmm. Forrest, I am just really encouraged about getting the work crew. If we get our own city work crew, I think that is something that has been needed for many years. And if you get this established and need projects, I can always come up with all kinds of areas that needs weeded in town. So that's really encouraging, but also having that link with the mental health court too. I love seeing that you're coming up with a new model, and I just wish you success on that, because I think that would be a very valuable program. So, but no, thank you. Great job. Let's see, Bill and Bessie.
Bessie was first. Go ahead, Bessie.
Okay. Yes. Judge Reed, I really want to thank you for your innovative ideas. It's just refreshing to go another route and to help them, and yet be stern enough to where they know that they've got to toe the rope. And also what the mayor said about the mental health court. We had talked about that at WCJC. Other jurisdictions have done it, and they've had really good results, but it's just something that hasn't really caught on, or couldn't afford it, or whatever. And that is something that is needed so badly, because a lot of these people, they just need the assistance, the help, the just some direction to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do, because they're not focused. I mean, if you've got a mental health problem, you're not focused on what you're supposed to do. You just kind of get through the day. And so I just want to applaud you for what you're trying to do. And yeah, I think we made the right choice when we appointed you judge. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor. May I respond to real briefly? Councilman Johnson, thank you. It's not just me, it's our entire staff. And so it's a whole staff, and not only my staff, but it's also Sean Kidd, it's also the police chief, as well as Lynn County Mental Health is really buying into this. And it's not costing us any more money right now to do this.
Yeah.
And we're saving some money. And in the long run, what we're hoping is Lynn County Mental Health is going to take these numbers that we've been compiling over this last year, and they think that they can get some dedicated funds to really expand our program further. So we're hoping really in the long run that this may cut down recidivism, cut down some crime, and hopefully expand the program and give some people some needed mental health. So thank you very much.
Well, you bet. And okay, I will spread the accolades to all the others. So especially your staff. I know they work hard, and you've got to be special people. You know, working with the public, I've done it for years. That is a special talent. Not everybody can do it. So yes, thank you to your staff and to city attorney.
Thank you.
All right, Bill.
Yeah, Forrest, I was just going to add that that's an amazing amount of work and changes and accomplishments, and really turning things around in a year or less. But even more impressive that it was done during the current situation with COVID and forest fires, everything else that happened this year. So kudos, good job, and I'm sure we're going to renew your contract.
One last thing, I'd like to just say, Mayor and the retiring counselors, I want to say it's been a pleasure to work with you over the years. Mayor, I've worked with you for all your 24 years of involvement, and counselors, it's been a pleasure to work with you in all the capacities I've worked with you on. And thank you for your time and dedication to the city. Again, I echo what city manager says. I hope you guys don't ride off into the sunset. I hope you folks are around and continue to stay involved. Thank you for your involvement.
Thank you, Judge. Yeah. Okay, any other questions? If not, would you like to make a motion to renew the judge's contract?
I'd be very happy to make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Thank you so much, Judge Reed.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, counselors.
Did we lose Counselor Olson?
Yeah, I pushed the wrong button and I can't.
Okay, we can hear you. Okay. All right, that is it on our business. So we got business from the council, and Mike, you're on the top of my screen.
I have nothing but to say that it's been an absolute pleasure to do this for the last 4 years, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. So, okay, and then Bessie.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Gotcha. I want to say that to Bill, I really have appreciated being sidekicks all these years. And, you know, we have, you know, off mic, we have said some things that we know hopefully didn't get picked up and stuff. They weren't anything bad. It was just like, okay, where are we going with this? You know, so I really have enjoyed that. And Mike and Rich, I want you to know that I am going to miss your military stories. I love to sit back and watch you guys joust and really, you know, need each other as far as, you know, well, yeah, well, the Navy's not any good. Well, the, you know, Marines aren't any good. So, you know, I used to enjoy that with my husband and his brothers and stuff, because there's nothing like it. You know, it's all in fun, but I really enjoyed listening to the stories. And so now, Alex, Peter, yes. Ray, you're going to have to continue with the stories. So bring them on. But thank you guys. I really enjoyed working with you.
Okay. All right, Bill.
Thanks, Bessie. So I don't know how many people know this, but I am a huge Grateful Dead fan. And one of the lyrics from their songs is, what a long, strange trip it's been. And that might be a good description for the last 12 years, but it was enjoyable for the most part. I tell you, one of the strangest things that happened, and it was somebody from a business from the public, but he had an idea for glow-in-the-dark shingles and glow-in-the-dark bark dust. And Sharon's laughing. She remembers. So that airplanes would crash into the houses in the city of Albany. So.
And for all of us,
but anyway,
face, yeah.
I really enjoyed working with staff, and I'm not going anywhere. I live here. You'll see me around town. So.
We hope so.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Okay, Alex, anything?
I'd like to thank Rich, Mike, and Bill for their guidance and their support as my development as a city councilor. And Sharon, I've known you for 20 plus years. Our time on committees at St. Mary's when your kids were leaving St. Mary's and my son was entering. It was a pleasure to serve with you on committees there. It's been a pleasure to serve with you as a city councilor. And I wish you luck in your next endeavors. And again, it's been an honor to serve with you. And I wish you the best in what comes next. So thank you very much, well, all of you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Okay, Rich, are you still on? Is
All
Rich?
down there.
Rich, did you have anything from business from the council? Is he still on?
Mayor, he was having some real difficulty staying connected. We lost him about 5 times and he came back each 5 times, but he may now be disconnected.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go to Dick and maybe he'll come back on. So Dick, did you have anything?
No, I don't, but I need Matt to get me back connected up again. I was trying to get my cursor to work and I managed to erase myself. So, self-immolation, I guess you might call it. I do have one thing I wanted to comment on, a very minor thing, that some of the stuff on the agenda is such small print that I'm not really able to read it. So it would be nice if print was the standard size. And I'm talking about stuff like on page 17 that's it's really just too small for me to read. So
I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
And
All right.
I'm still trying to get back.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dick. Did Rich come back on? Nope, I don't think so. So we'll still give him some time. So with me, I did kind of write up a little message this evening. Before I get to that, I'm really surprised nobody brought this up over the years of kind of thinking of certain issues that was really probably very irritable for all of us. I think over my 24 years of hearing of issues that just kept dragging on and very contentious, and it was over the marijuana. And it was, I'll never forget, council meeting was packed with marijuana advocates. And there was one gal there that had a live cat on her back. And anyone remember that? It's like, oh my gosh, here came all these folks, and there was some of them from the coast and all over. And there was that gal that had a real cat on her back that cat stayed there for hours on that gal's back. So one thing I'll always remember, we get some very interesting folks that would come to our council meetings over the years. But, yeah.
I was in Las Vegas that night. So I didn't get to see, but I got to hear for hours.
Yeah. So with this, so since 2009, I usually present my New Year message in January. But this time it is with sadness to me and bringing you my final mayor's message. This message is not just for our great residents of Albany to hear, but it also for our new council coming on board. In reflecting back on my 24 years on the city council, I have seen the pendulum swing back and forth over many issues, including enduring 3 economic recessions. We have weathered through the challenges before, and we will again. Sadly, each time many people are financially and emotionally impacted. Plus, our level of city services decline each time, yet our population keeps rising. That adds to the overall demand on services. Next month's new city council is walking into 10 months now of the COVID-19 shutdown and impacts. Several will be lobbied as the new person on the block, and we'll hear from people with new ideas. Keep in mind, some ideas, as well thought out or innovative they might seem, could steer our city away from our core services. Some people assume the city has a bottomless pit of money and can solve every problem you can imagine. As you know, that is not the case, and you have a lot of work ahead of you to inform the public over the value of our core city services and their limited resources of funding. We have a responsibility to the residents of Albany to provide our core city services that support our quality of life. Please do not let social issues divert your attention away from our core services, because that will put more demand on our staff. Each council member, on their own time, can network with social service agencies and organizations without the use of city resources. I cannot stress enough to please keep our programs whole, and any more lowering our level of service just erodes away our community's livability. Remember, it is hardworking people and neighborhoods who built our city's livability. And without a place people can be proud to call home, then you are impacting our city. Also, our city's character is in our historic stock. And as I've stated before, downtown is the heart of our community. If you do not take care of your heart, then the community will decline in quality. It took years to bring the life back to our hometown compared to where we were the past 2 decades. And please do not put us backwards. While we cared for the heart of our city, look how the ripple effect benefited the whole city with the many revitalized areas we have today. Another big concern to me, besides wading through the pandemic crisis, is we have a rise in violent and property crimes in our state. I believe it will rise more from the passage of Measure 110 in decriminalizing meth and heroin. We have not seen that tsunami hit yet, and you must stand strong and stand up to crime, folks. Our public safety is our #1 core service, and if you lower your support of our public safety, you are turning your heads away from criminal action, and that impacts every one of us. I have devoted my life to our hometown, and I still live here, and I want it to stay a safe community. The City Council has that obligation to provide a safe city, and this upcoming budget is crucial in supporting our core services. You know me well enough, as I could go on and on over our upcoming needs in the city. I also have always promoted Albany as a caring and compassionate community, and please continue that message. But I have one thought I would like you to remember me by, and that is, as a no gavel mayor, I went 12 years without using the gavel once. In my opinion, a gavel is an abrupt action from the dark ages to bring attention to a meeting. I proved you do not need a gavel to garner attention. All you need to do is smile. Just smile. A smile is a friendly action that I hope someday all governing bodies will follow and throw out that rude gavel. I will end with my last words from each of my past mayor's messages. Let there be peace to all. Thank you, folks, for listening. Thank you for letting me serve too for the past 24 years. So with that, that is it on my that I have this evening. And Peter, did you have anything?
Just I want to remind everybody that we do have an executive session, and we do have an ARA meeting to go to. Bessie, as the vice chair, will chair the ARA if Rich can't make it. you all need do nothing other than stay in this go to meeting room. You don't need to leave it, come back or anything like that. And that's all I have, Mayor, except that I'll join you all in saying thank you for the honor to serve.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to be going into executive session. I'll just make note of our next meeting dates. The new council will have their first meeting January 4th, 2021. I hope 2021 will be a lot better year than 2020. And that'll be a special session. Then you have January 11th, 4 p.m. work session, and you have a January 11th, 5:15 joint meeting with Planning Commission.
I screwed myself up somehow.
So, yeah. And what'd you say, Dick?
I think he's talking to Matt, trying to.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you, folks. And the city council will now meet in executive session for the purpose of discussing litigation per ORS 192.6602H. Representatives of the news media and designated staff and other persons shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience and also our council-elect too can attend. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the go-to meeting. At the end of the executive session, we will return to open session and the go-to meeting will be reopened to the public. Members of the public should disconnect from the meeting now and then re-enter the meeting. Your screen will display the message, waiting for the City of Albany to unlock the meeting. Keep your screen open. When the council returns to open session, we will unlock the meeting and you will be automatically rejoin the meeting. Representative of the news media specifically directed not to report on any of the deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decision will be made in this executive session. I now recess to executive session at 8:51 p.m. And there is no motions that would be taking place with this from executive session. It was information only. Does staff have anything else for this council meeting? And we have ARA, correct? Yeah. Okay. All right. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you, folks.